Hey everybody, this is Dean FM, and today I wanted to do another reaction video to some queer, happy Pride stuff because it is Pride Month. It is Pride all year technically over here, but I feel like it's important to emphasize Pride on Pride Month because it's not really emphasized otherwise, so yeah, we're gonna do that. And as always, please make sure to check out my Facebook, Instagram, my official YouTube page. I got some music, got some videos, got some reaction. The name of the video is called LGBTQ plus TikToks because it's Pride Month.
Begin audio prompt in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, gotta get it out, gotta get that coping. Gotta get it rage.
I can't believe I'm walking through the ruins of the first ever city. Because I'm not. That's in Iraq, which is miles away.
My mom, when my girlfriend comes over every day.
Francine, can I ask you a question? Sure, anything. Why don't you go back to your own house and stop bothering us?
Well, you see, so with that, I don't know. I wouldn't bring somebody home. If I wanted my boyfriend to meet my parents, I would let them do so. I would let them do so at like an event or like at a gathering or something like that. If they wanted to hang out, that's one thing. We're not gonna up in here. We're not gonna near my situation. No, we're not doing that. I'm not sure if that's what they're implying, but you know, show your mother and your father a little bit of respect in a place where your parents are if you have another place to do it. When your grandma sees you at giant pride flag and asks, yeah, I wonder how the rainbow kind of evolved over years. And I thought that was interesting because when you look back at old-timey pictures or when you look at like old TV shows or whatever and they have the flag, it doesn't always mean pride. It definitely does not always mean pride. It didn't always mean pride. It's cool that it has changed. The rainbow should have multiple meanings like it always has. A rainbow is a beautiful natural phenomena. We should not be throwing out the window because it's ours. No, we do not own nature. But it is the best representation, I think, for beauty, natural color, natural variation. You interacted 3 times, said that this 18-year-old trans guy could get top surgery. Oh.
I swiped my debit card, the cashier told me that it was declined. That made me cry.
Yeah, we do. Contrary to conservative belief, we do. Yeah. POV, my mom just said named.
What can I do for you?
I need to buy a gun.
Oh, don't let them do that. Don't let people dead name you. Don't put up with that. Period. Would you go to Starbucks? They aren't working? They aren't working?
I'm that barista.
Yeah.
I am the barista.
All I've ever been is a sexy young man with a tight body and a lot of feelings. But then I met you.
Oh, yeah. There are twinks that are trans for sure. When my family asked me why I got a...
Why?
Because...
Oh, no. No, your family should know the tea before the what's up. They really should know the what's up. If they don't know the what's up, then we are early in the process, my dear. That is uncomfortable. I'm sorry. No, that is not fair. That's not fair that you have to go through that. People should know. There's a lot of denial. Denial is very much a form of aggression that is imposed, I think, subconsciously on parents and the people who are in families that have transgender people. People don't want to accept it. Societal-wise, what we've been trained, what we've been taught is to fear the unknown. Fear, freaks. But they should know. They should know. I guess they don't have to know. Work on that. You don't want to have to put up with that. If you literally ran out the bone, boo, something gotta change. I know it's difficult, but yeah. Yeah, of course. That's your mama. And your mama knew you your whole life. Your mama's not gonna forget your childhood, anything about you. You're always gonna be that person to them. Your mother is always going to be there for you. Your mother is always going to have your entire life in their head. It's sad. It's sad to think about that. It is sweet in a way, but at the same time, your mother needs to work on it. I would actually venture to say that that's a hurtful thing. I would not say that to your child. We struggling our whole life. They should not be adding to that.
Welcome to the day in the life of trans women. As per usual, I wake up with a full face of makeup because I'm a doll. To start off my day, I usually yell out, I'm trans, so everyone knows that I'm trans. Then it's time to light a candle for the ritual.
For Satan himself, use my body as your instrument, your vessel. I'm truly yours, Lord of all darkness. Yeah, that's me. As per usual, I always take some hormones and put them in the water supply. Beautifying people, transition is not a choice. I'm truly blessed To end off my morning, I also call random people, scaring them with pronouns she, her.
Possessed. Possessed. Possessed.
Alright, so you know I'm on testosterone.
Seizing the moment as Red
I'm
Robin.
hungry all the time, eating everything. They say it's going to be a 40-minute wait to seat at Red Robin because they just sat a birthday party of like 40 people. And I'm like, I want to go get French fries and come eat my French fries here in the waiting room.
Right.
And she says no. And I'm like, but ma'am. And I have a second, okay. And I'm like, I turn to her and I say, you know how there have been a lot of anti-trans laws in this country lately? And that we as a community have been dealing with a lot of pressure and hate from the country as a whole.
Don't know where this came from.
I said, you could be part of the solution. You could just seat us now, and then you could tell all your friends what an ally you are to our community. I didn't think it was gonna work. I was trying everything. Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
And so she came back 2 minutes later and said that she could seat us. Enjoy your French fries.
Yeah. Enjoy being the boy crying wolf. Enjoy being the boy who cried wolf in the trans community. I feel like you're kind of being a little bit of that. We don't want to be just throwing that out. It's kind of like the black card argument. We don't want to be perpetuating that because obviously there's been people who have used the black experience and race and that sort of argument in life and in unfortunate and inappropriate places. You know, that's unfortunate, and that's where I think the black card came from. I also think that the black card is very much a white term, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that a black person would have made that term. We don't want to be making a trans card. Although, like, the black card and the trans card is it's overhyped as bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be that person. I'm glad that they found a waiter or the waitress who was going to be cool and down enough to give you free to let you cut the line, to let you get a table where there was no tables. That waitress done did a hocus pocus and made that table come in focus.
Court victories for transgender people are finally here, and let me tell you what just happened this week. Number one, in Indiana, they ruled that teachers do not have a right to misgender their trans students. And in fact, the Seventh Circuit ruled that a teacher intentionally misgendering their students in violation of school policy was causing significant harm to trans students. This could have huge effects around the country. Yeah. Number two, the Tennessee
I would go even further and say that that's making kids depressed. That will traumatize kids to misgender them. They will have that experience in that unfortunate history throughout their entire life. They can't delete their history. Many people are going to be depressed, anxious. We are trying to prevent kids from ending it. Let's not do that. If a kid wants to be called something, as long as they're learning, then yeah, call them what they want to be called and move on.
Number two, the Tennessee drag ban was held off in court. A federal judge said of the ban that even Tennessee has to follow the First Amendment. And in making the drag ban, they missed the mark. That ban is now blocked at least until May and possibly forever. Lastly, the Supreme Court allowed a 12-year-old transgender girl to continue playing sports in West Virginia. West Virginia filed an emergency motion to allow them to ban this trans...
Could you imagine that this is the news? A girl was allowed to play sports. Are we good? Like, come on, America. This should not be news. This should have been fixed.
This is a motion that's usually held for national security concerns, and they did it over a single 12-year-old transgender girl. Anyway,
hopefully
the Supreme Court decided in our favor 7-2, with Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Neil Gorsuch joining the liberals. It's amazing. The ACLU has filed lawsuit in several states to overturn medical bans, and I am anticipating that we will see the morale of trans people swing back in the positive direction as we see our focus shift away from these terrible laws that have targeted us and to the court cases that overturn those.
Come on.
Anyway, this is great news, and we love a green light day.
Absolutely. And that was a nice green background, too. It's a nice little green background. But yeah, with the drag ban, when I heard about the drag ban, that's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I want to play difficult. I was thinking about this when I was at Pride. There's a lot of sex on signs. It's something that I really want to say, and I want to say this kind of delicately because this is part of the hatred towards genderqueer, gender nonconforming drag. We very much emphasize sex. We very much emphasize sex. Like everywhere, I saw condoms. Maybe we should try to be, I know with being liberal and being outgoing, and like me, like a bitch, I'm out there, you know, and I'm sure that the people who have read to children, the drag queens, were very much tentative to that and aware that they cannot be talking about bad stuff. And unless they did, there's really no issue. And I'm glad that they fixed that. Everybody deserves to be educated. Every profession deserves to educate. And, you know, there we go.
Oh, there are only two genders. It's just basic biology.
So
Hi,
cool.
how you doing? Welcome to Advanced Biology from a biologist. You see
Hey.
that thing? So we're gonna go over some facts together, but first off, happy Trans Day of Visibility, right?
Come through.
So sex and gender, not the same thing. You probably heard that before, right? It's because it's true, because biology actually has nothing to say about gender. You would have to look towards sociologists, anthropologists, or gender scientists for that. And that's why when you defer to your basic biology 101 class that you failed in high school, you look like you don't know what you're talking about, right? Gender is only loosely related to sex insofar as we've identified certain physical characteristics and have arbitrarily decided that this person belongs to this gender.
Yeah,
but there are a whole bunch of people from that gender that don't have those physical characteristics, right? It's almost like there's some variation to sex.
Yeah.
And that's because it's not a binary, it's a bimodal distribution where you have two extreme ends and most people falling somewhere in the middle. Now, this could be due to your genetic predisposition, it could be due to the fact that there are more than two combinations of sex chromosomes, it could be due to the intersex spectrum, but it's mostly due to hormone washes, and it's the reason why every person assigned male at birth isn't 7 feet tall with a raging beard and a hairy ass. In fact, there is more variation within a sex than there is between male and female. And by the way, you could be intersex. You could go your whole life being intersex and never know it. And the reason to that is because when you're born, nobody tests you. The doctor just decides what you look like and assigns you a sex. And then society then assigns you a gender.
Is there no genetic testing that goes on there with the child to determine if they are male or female? I feel like the doctor would do something to that extent. But I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe the baby pop out or whatever it looked like. The doctor's like, yes, male. Get him some blue stuff. All the while, there could be something else going on.
I really hate when people appeal to nature when they're trying to erase trans or gay people, because when you actually study the animal kingdom, the concepts of male and female cease to function as we understand them. Or you're talking about creatures that have vastly different sexual dimorphism than us. Species that can flip-flop sexes or produce both gametes or reproduce asexually. Animals that have gay relationships. No, this isn't a rewrite of history or science. You just weren't paying attention in class. Let's talk about gender. It's a social thing, right? You got these roles and responsibilities that you assign to a specific group. Now, hear me out. Not only has the concept of a man and a woman changed within our culture over the course of hundreds of years, not only are these characteristics and the amount of genders different between cultures, not only has the concept of gender identity changed since the beginning of civilization,
there's a long way to go.
Between two individuals is a different concept of that gender identity. What it means to be a man for me is likely vastly different for what it means to be a man for you. It's almost like none of this has anything to do with the chromosomes you have. Trans people don't just feel like a man or a woman. They are a man or a woman.
That's
or
right.
Or both. And dysphoria comes from the fact that we've applied physical characteristics to social categories. And the real mental illness is thinking that 8 billion people can all fit into two arbitrary classifications. And no, nobody's turning your kids trans. Nobody would have anything to transition from if you didn't apply something to them that they don't identify with. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
You're welcome. I would never... Look. Let me tell you something. That is that I am a man. I'm a man. But yeah, that's how I view myself. Right now, at least, I don't really have anything to say that's ashamed of that. I feel like a lot of people who might look like me may feel that they should not call themselves that outwardly. And I agree. Physically, gender, and sexuality-wise. That's what I identify as. Minute as hell, never going out without female stuff, but you know what I mean. I feel men can wear whatever the hell they want. Yeah. Men can be anything. Women can be anything. I understand that that's a very difficult pill to swallow. In my mind, I kind of view like it is working towards us in thousands of years, obviously, not having to use those type of pronouns and having to have better language than that to just, like that person said, categorizing 8 billion people into two categories is not reasonable. And that's a great way to put it, actually. And that, my dear, was reacting to LGBTQ plus TikToks because it's Pride Month. It is very much Pride Month right now. That was last year. It is Pride Month this year. It has been a year since this video has been out. And yeah, if you view this video, it is not Pride Month at the time that you are viewing it. It is Pride all year. I am going to be available whenever you want. On socials, hit me up in the DMs. Gang. Bye-bye.